Hello guys, welcome to another video. First of all, I said that this story doesn't belong to me, so if you read the full story for yourself, then go down in the description to find the link to the original post and read the full story for yourself. That being said, let's get into the video. What if Minato had adopted Obito on a better route? Chapter 43 and Part 43. Itachi watched in awe as Kabuto and Rin went back and forth at another. He had no idea medic ninjas could be this impressive in a fight. They only combat evil. Medic ninja on this level who he would ever heard of was Lady Tsunade. Yet this was one of the greatest battle he had ever seen. Kabuto was clearly the quicker of the two. However, his attack weren't all that powerful. His reflexes were almost on par with his speed as well. However, his chakra scalpel are where he really shined. They were his most powerful assets since he could use them at any level that no other ninja he knew of would. Rin's speed was relatively good, but her strength was on a level Kabuto wouldn't ever dream of at the moment. Thanks to Tsunade's training with the superior strength technique and her practice with taijutsu, Rin was on hell of a fighter. She was easily one of the league's most powerful kunoichi. After ducking and narrowly avoiding a kick in the head, Kabuto took another slash at Rin with one of his chakra scalpels. Since Rin jumped back and slammed her fist into the ground, creating a small fuss around uh, strength of Kabuto. Kabuto's foot fell into the falls, and Jiren took the opportunity to strike. She jumped into the air and prepared to knock him out. Rin's first land inches above his head. Kabuto's reflexes saved him at the last time. The reactive he reactivated his chakra scalpels and went to shove it into her abdomen. Rin stomped onto the ground, causing a small earthquake. This made Kabuto to lose his balance before he could finish this attack. It was time to end this fight. She charged her fist up just enough so that she wouldn't kill him. Shoving it into his gut. Rin kept Kabuto flying into a tree. Kabuto, by some miracle, stood up and pulled a scroll out of his pocket. Three dead bodies were unleashed, and Kabuto was somehow controlling them like puppets. He went to he sent the string at Rin. Rin didn't even flinch. She charged right back at them. One of them pulled out a blade and swung at Rin. She caught the blade in both hands and kicked the corpse in the chin. Then grabbed his head and slammed it into her knee. It cracked. Its skull was crushed, immobilizing it. Another corpse came at her, but Rin grabbed its arm and threw it at the other corpse. She jumped into the arm and slammed down the corpse, finishing them once and for all. Kabuto went to make his escape, but Rin slammed her fist into the ground even harder than before. It created a force twice as big as the first one, which Kabuto immediately found himself trapped into. This time he didn't have time to dodge the punch Rin sent right to his head, knocking him out cold. Itachi jumped down from where he was standing. An impressive battle. How long will he be out for? Rin looked at him over and shrugged, not really sure. We will just tie him up and drag him back. Kitachi raised an eyebrow. Do you have rope? Rin pulled the ninja wire out of Kabuto's bag. Actually, I was gonna borrow this. Kabuto Itachi couldn't help but laugh. Well played, Lady Rin, well played. Rin finished tying Kabuto up when she heard something moving in the bushes. She walked over to find a girl with green hair hiding in there, cu- cu- cuddling her leg for dear life. When she saw someone was there with her, she gasped, "Please don't hurt me. I promise not to hurt anyone. I won't even go back to the waterfall." Rin carefully put a hand onto the girl's shoulder. Wait, she has green hair? I thought it was Karin, but who is she? Let's see. Rin carefully put a hand on the girl's shoulder. I am not going to hurt you. Could you please tell me your name and what happened? The girl wiped her eyes. I am Fu from the hidden waterfall. That guy started killing my teammates, so I figured he was another assassin, someone he had sent after me. He seemed really strong, so I just stayed in the bushes and prayed he would just take the scroll. I can't believe he killed them. Rin didn't understand. Why do they want to kill you, sweetie? Who's doing this to you? Who sniffed my village? I'm a Jinjuriki and everyone at my village is scared of me. So who is in this tuning exam? Oh, that's interesting. Rin looked at Itachi. Take Kabuto back without me. I'm gonna see if I can help her out. Itachi grabbed Kabuto and nodded. Okay, of course, Lady Rin picked up who held her tightly. Poor girl was scared to death. Looks like Rin was gonna have to figure out exactly what to do with her for a while. The deadline for the second portion of the exam had finally come. All of the rookie 12 and the team had passed, along with the Sand Sibling and the Sound Ninjas. The final two teams to arrive had been Kabuto's team and Samui's team. Karotsuchi, not sorry, not Kabuto, Karotsuchi's team and Samui's team. Obito, who had arrived just a few moments earlier, stood up to give him a speech. Most Kage would drag this speech out for what seemed like hours, but Obito never really did that. His speech was over in a mere 5 minutes. Obito stood up and said, "For years we have been using this exam to decide who should be promoted to Chunin. To be quite honest, it is more of a way for the village to show how well off they are doing financially and how powerful our enemies are. But for these cannons, it means a hell of a lot of more. It's a rite of passage, proof that they do not someone to hold their hand. They do not need someone to hold their hands anymore. I am amazed that this many shinobis had gotten this far. The fact that you have forced us to do a preliminary round, it's something that I never would have expected in a million years. I leave the rest of the explanation to Hayate. If you would please begin. I walked out of the shadows coffee. I will be the proctor for the second. I will be proctor of the second cough of the preliminary round. Cough. Uh, the match will be chosen randomly. Would anyone like to back out of the exams? Sasuke ground his teeth. He hated to do this, but Orochimaru had left him no choice. I'm backing out. Flashback. Sasuke laid on his bedding. Everyone else was asleep at the moment. He had slept in the past 2 days since Orochimaru told him about the seal he had placed on Kakashi. The only other team that had showed up so far was the Sand sibling. They had been told to stay in here until the exams were over. leaving Sasuke very little time to think through everything over. A disgusting smiling voice entered the room. I'm afraid you have got a little something we must discuss. Sasuke winced as he heard that voice. What do you want, you damn snake? Orochimaru chuckled. Cuckoo. Nice to see you too. I'm afraid that I need you to back out of the preliminary rounds. Sasuke frowned. They aren't even sure they are going to have preliminary rounds yet, are they? Orochimaru hated explaining himself. There will be a preliminary round. I can already that much. I can assure you that much. Now you are going to back out of them. Sasuke looked around to see Orochimaru was on the balcony. Why in the hell would I do that? Orochimaru rolled his eye to stop asking dumb questions. Sasuke, I have no use for you in the Chunin exams. What I have use for you is preparing to extract or extract you after the Chunin exams. Sasuke suddenly realized what he meant. You are making me leave the village? My whole life is here. My friends are here. Orochimaru gave a dark smile. That's true. If you stay, you will get to go to Kakashi's funeral with them. Sasuke had to keep himself from screaming. This is bullshit. How did you even get the seal on Kakashi without waking him up? Orochimaru was really tired of all these questions. A simple said, see, selective from one of my silent friends. He never felt a thing. Just back just back out of the exam. Sasuke was going to object, but Orochimaru was already gone. Looks like he had no choice. End of flashback. Kakashi screamed, "What are you doing, Sasuke? Why would you back out?" Sasuke knew he had to think of something fast. I'm not feeling all well at the moment. Minato was about to smack him. Are you kidding? About to smack him. Are you kidding me? That's why you are backing out of the exam? Sasuke had no idea what to say. It's a little more than just that. My chakra system feels all off. I don't think it would be a good idea for me to fight right now. Now that sounded whatever Lumbrious. Jorah looked at his student and nodded. Not like he can't take it again in 6 months. You will just get yourself hurt if you are not feeling well. Why don't you go see Shizune? You might get back in time to fight. Why don't you go see Shizune? You might get back in time to fight. Hayate shook his head. No. Once you are out, you are out. Are you in or out? Orochika Sasuke saw his way out and took it. I just don't feel right. I'm gonna back out. Kakashi was heartbroken, but Kakashi wanted to compete with his cousin. Sasuke patted him on the back. It will be just fine. You'd better kick some ass for me. Kakashi suddenly bounced back. Of course, Kakashi will kick tons of ass for his cousin. Sasuke laughed and Jiraiya handed him a scroll. Just give this to Shizune, she will check you out. Sasuke took it and said goodbye to everyone, silently thinking, God, he had thought of something. Karutsuchi and Samui's team all Karatsuchi and Samui's team all backed out. Their missions were to make sure Karatsuchi and Samui could complete their mission. They are told to back out as soon as they got to a point that they were no longer needed. Hayate looked around. That leaves 22 competitors. The first name will now be drawn. So the whole team was just for that on mission. Nice. Hayate walked over and pulled two names from a small box that was brought in by another ninja. He read the name out loud. Naruto Namikaze vs. Choji Akimichi. Kabuto's eyes slowly drifted open as he looked around at the room he was in. The room was a simple grey room, and only thing in the room was the chair he was currently tied to. Looks like he had been captured by Rin. It was kind of disappointing to him. Disappointing to him. For years he had thought that he was the league's second most powerful medic, but it looks like Rin was currently holding that title. Ibiki knocked on the door and walked into the room. So you're Kabuto. Gotta say, you did a damn fine job staying under our radar. I don't even wanna think what have happened if you what would happened if you hadn't overplayed your hands with those cannons back there. Why don't you just tell us what you know and make it easy on you? Kabuto scoffed. I am one of the finest spies in the elemental nation. You think I would give it up that easily? Ibiki frowned. Finest spy in the elemental nation, huh? But but wasn't a bunch of canning that made you? But wasn't a bunch of caning that made you. Kabuto got defensive. I underestimated those kids. Guess no, everybody has a bad day. Hibiki shrugged. If you say so, guess you are gonna go for the hard way then. The Kabuto sneered. You don't scare me. Ibiki went to the door. Too bad for you. I am not the one heading the interrogation. Kabuto didn't understand. He was about to object when he felt his sharp sharp blow to his back of his head. I'm gonna enjoy this. I have been wanting a piece of that snake for years, but I guess I will settle for his little wiping boy. Kabuto knew that voice, Uncle Omino. You must be loving this. Uncle walked out in front of him. Oh, I am. How in the hell would you bring yourself to help that sick son of a witch? Kabuto knew she wouldn't understand. Lord Orochimaru and I understand the world so much better than the average person. He gave me my purpose and the reason I get up every morning. For some the knowledge the no more knowledge I gain, the more I learn how I really am. Who I really am. I can't let myself be held back by more, mortality like you, more morality like you fools, more held back by morality like you fools. Anko took a kunai out of her pouch and threw it at the center of Kabuto's groin. In that case, why don't I test you at the pain? Teach you about pain, all of that pain you and the snake have put people through over the years. That's what I want you to think about while I do this. I want you to imagine all of the people you have what you have done this to, and just how many people you have done it to. This is going to be our little slice of hell. Payback for every person you have hurt. You're going to be begging for death before this is all said and done. Kabuto suddenly found himself in a cold sweat. Please, the leaf would never let you do something like that. Uncle shook her head. Sorry, but you have got hundreds, maybe thousands of lives in the balance. We are not going to worry about the morality of putting someone like you in pain. Kabuto could see he wasn't going to get out of this question was just how long would he beat his bullet before he gave in. That's all for part 43 and chapter 43 of Legacy. And yeah, that's I have to see you in the next video. Bye bye.